You know how sometimes setting up lights in the studio is kind of a hassle, with the softboxes, the stands, the cables? Well, in this video I'm going to show you a very special LED panel light solution from GVM, which is small to pack, easy to set up, packs a punch, and it's very accurate. So ideal for studio photography as well as product photography. So we'll be talking about the ZipTile Z200B from GVM, which are sponsoring this video. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Miro. Leave a comment, hit the like button, consider subscribing, and well, just welcome to the channel. So the folks at GVM were kind enough to send over the new ZipTile Z200B, which is the biggest of the three ZipTile lights that they have to offer. Now these are very slim, very compact light options which you can combine together using zippers to create an even bigger light source. Now I only have the 3x1 200 watt bicolor, so 200B light panel to test out, and I'm going to test it out in the studio as a fill light, as a key light, as well as right here at home. I'm gonna do a thumbnail and I'm gonna use only the ZipTile for creating that product photography lighting. So let's first get the numbers out of the way, because that's important if you're buying a light, and this one definitely something to consider. Also, there will be links for all of the lights that I'm using, which are all from GVM. Maybe consider buying them through the affiliates. Thank you. So on the surface, the Z200B is a 200 watt bicolor LED light panel, which has a color rendering index of over 95. I think it's 97, which is really accurate. That basically means that if your skin is pink color, then if you light it up with that 5500 Kelvin, it's going to appear pink in the camera. It doesn't distort the colors, which is really important, and actually all GVM lights do this. Now the color temperature ranges from 2700 to 6800, which gives you a broad enough range to create cooler or warmer tones, and it has 12 cinematic effects like broken light bulb, candlelight, and all sorts of different lighting scenarios, as well as 12 professional lighting source presets so that you can mimic different lighting types, like, well, candlelight. If you set it to candlelight, it's going to go warm, the same as a candle would be, or a hemi, or a daylight. Well, basically 12 different lighting sources which you can mimic with this light, so that you don't have to figure out what the temperatures are and how well those lights would actually look. It has dual power control, so you can plug it into a wall, or you can use the V-mount external battery, and it has a separate controller for controlling the temperature, the brightness, and a few other things. But more importantly, you can connect it with your smartphone. Now GVM have their own app, and if you have multiple lights from GVM, you can mash them together and control everything with just the app. And this is one thing that I find really useful, especially if you're using constant lights, which means that you basically see what you get. So in the studio, I just placed the camera on a tripod. I've set my desired exposure, so the shutter speed, the ISO, the aperture, and then I was playing with the lights with the app, adjusting the key light, the rim light, the fill light to get the proper look. But you know what? Let's just head to the studio shoot and take it on from there. Okay, so that was the 3-point lighting. Now we're going to do a photo that looks like this. Oh yeah, we're gonna slash it out. And for this, I'll be just using the Z200 panel and a rim light. No big softbox because that's going to be too much lighting. Oh yeah, rocket, man, rocket. Honestly, I'm really surprised at how soft the light is, considering that it's a relatively small light source, and I have it set to 10% because otherwise it would be way too bright. So it's a really powerful, really soft light. So that's it for the studio setup. Now let's head indoors and try some product photography, and for that I'll be using softbox and a grid. Okay, so for the indoor scene, I've already set up the panel. It's right over here, and I am going to, photograph these two cameras. That's for a whole nother video, but this is an example of a product photography scenario. I'm using the grid because I don't want my light to be spilled all over the place. I want it to be just on the subject, and I'm going to dim down all of these lights to get a really dark environment. Boom, darkness. I'm gonna go with, so this would be 25%. Let me just adjust the white balance because I am shooting at 5500 Kelvin. So 25%, and then we go all the way to the max. And now I can dim down my exposure and get a nice looking photograph. So you see, with this I can control how much light hits the subjects and the surroundings because I have a grid. And because this panel is quite big and quite strong, I can actually dim down all the lights in the environment and have just this as my top light to give it more kind of a dramatic feel to the photograph. So this is definitely a practical use case for a panel like this. So to kind of summarize everything, the ZipTile Z200B is, well, it's modular, it's small to travel with, it's very accurate color, it is a bicolor light, 200 watts for, it's good enough to be the key light if you want to photograph one person, for instance, like we saw in the studio. It has dual power options for using indoors or even outdoors with batteries, and more importantly, you can zip a whole bunch of these together to create an even bigger light source. Now, in terms of heating and overheating, it is a passively cooled panel, which means that there is no fans, which also means that there is no noise, there's no humming coming from this panel. And if you use it at 200 watts, so the maximum power for a long period of time, it will get warm to the touch, but you will not burn your hands with it. So it doesn't get that warm, considering that it's a passively cooled panel. It is a big panel, so a lot of heat gets dissipated out without the need of a fan. There you have it. This is the ZipTile Z200B from GVM. Thank you, GVM, for sending it over. I do recommend this light. You can find links down below. I will be using it pretty much for every product photography, as well as this studio setup, which I actually have used it in one of my previous videos, and it's good enough for like a home studio setup. So I do recommend that. And well, if you have any comments or questions, leave that down below. Hit the like button, consider subscribing, and thanks for watching. I will see you in, well, one of these two videos. Thank you. See you in one of these two. Bye bye.